Welcome back, MMAOddsBreaker. Liam McGeary get ready to fight. Is it Kelly Anundson, right? That's who you're fighting coming up here in Bellator?
Yeah, Kelly Anundson, yeah.
Yeah. Bellator's had a lot of changes. I know obviously we talked before your last fight about the changes that were going through, so it's just starting to come out, Coker taking over and everything kind of changing. Have you noticed anything hugely different from you at this point? A lot of the other execs, a lot of the people that I know that work in the executive portion of Bellator were extremely happy the moment that Scott walked in the door. They were amazingly, satisfied with the fact there was a change. And the way he treats everyone in the office, they're very excited about it. The fighters have kind of been, either I haven't fought for it yet, I don't know, no change for me. Even some of the new guys that have been signed haven't really said much different. But the guys that got cut, obviously they've been cut, so they're upset.
Yeah.
But everyone gets mad whenever they get cut or get fired from a job. So that you can't hold those guys to anything. But for you, anything different?
No. I mean, no, everything's the same. I mean, the fights are still coming in quick and fast. And the tournament was still still going ahead. So no, it's just all business for me.
The big name that they let go obviously was Eddie Alvarez. He has to be released. He got released from Bellator. He gets picked up by the UFC right away. That's Scott Coker's typical way. He's like, if you don't want to be here, then go ahead and leave. Go ahead and go.
You know what, man? If you're not happy somewhere, then and he sees this, and he doesn't want to keep someone there if they're unhappy. It's not fair to anybody.
You agree with that choice then of letting a star like Eddie Alvarez take off and go someplace else?
I do agree. Yeah, it was definitely the best move for him. He's gone to the UFC. He's fighting. The Cowboy, I think, is it?
Yeah, Cowboy Cerrone, yeah. Yep,
I mean, that guy, he's a good guy. It's tough fights in UFC, he's tore up Bellator for the last few years, so, why not test on another stage?
Yeah, really, the only close matchup that's been for him has been Michael Chandler,
Exactly, and I mean, what Michael Chandler won too, they were fucking epic fights.
Right?
Absolutely amazing fights.
And to be honest with you, if I was Eddie, why would I want to fight Mike again? Even if I know for sure I'm gonna beat him, just being in that battle again, like that kind of heat and that kind of pressure, like why?
Who wants to see it though? Who wants to see it the third time, the fourth time? It's like they've seen it so many times. It's like, okay, Eddie and Michael Chandler, two great fighters, but let them fight somewhere else. Let him test his skills against somebody else.
All right, well let's talk about yours. You're crushing your way through. Obviously, you're still undefeated 8-0. Henzo has done an incredible job with you and really getting you focused better. It's funny, your submission game is better, but you're knocking guys out. It's really strange. Yeah. Usually as a heavyweight, it switches over. Guys are good strikers, and all of a sudden they catch the submission game later and start submitting guys. You submitted guys early in your career, and now you're just knocking fools unconscious because your submission game, your positioning from submission is so much better, so much more solid that when you get somebody caught in a position, they can't go anywhere. You're kind of hitting guys and you're cracking them down. How do you see Kelly, and how do you see this fight breaking out? Like, do you see Kelly really being a challenge for you now with this power that you have on your feet?
No, I mean he has to come. He's going to be able to. If he's going to shoot, he's going to shoot from a distance. And he's either going to meet a knee or an uppercut or anything. Or a foot. He's got to come in, or if he wants to grab hold it, or even if we do go down onto the ground. My jiu-jitsu is there. You see yourself. The guys who I train with are high-level jiu-jitsu players, But my striking coach, Jason Strout, man, he's done wonders with me for the with my hands. So I've got power, I've got speed, I've got everything coming on now, and it's only getting better and better.
Now the big difference too is you're 6'5", 6'6",
6'6",
and then Kelly comes in at 5'11". I mean, so. That's it.
I don't think he's 5'11", man. When we stood there and squared off, it wasn't.
It wasn't that much of a difference. I was questioning it because I looked at the size difference. Remember, on the internet, I'm ranked at 5'8", which isn't true. Like I'm not 5'8". I've had some people tell me I'm 5'5", which is completely untrue. 5'10", that's what I am. I've always been 5'10" since high school. It's just kind of how it works. I think somewhere along the line they put Kelly's height in really low for some reason. I don't know if it was a mistake or they did it on purpose, but he looks like he's 6'1", 6'1", because when you guys scored up, it really wasn't that big of a difference. But
no, he's small.
That the arm length was the biggest difference. Like when you guys are kind of standing and you're squared off, it looked like you had every bit of a 9-inch, 8-inch arm length reach advantage. Right. Do you get that same sense when you see him?
Yeah, I mean, when I see him, I was looking down on him, and it was I wouldn't have said he was five. He's 6 foot, you know. I
Okay.
wouldn't say he's a 6 footer. I've sparred my training partners are 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". So
Okay.
I'm used to looking at people at 6'2", and he was that. I'd say he's more the same size as my first guy who I fought, Anton Talamantes.
Oh yeah, and he's every bit of a 5'11", just under 6 foot. So yeah, they're
Yeah,
we got to remember to meet at 5'10". Everybody to me over my height is 6 foot automatically. Like if you're
yeah.
5'10" and a half, you are automatically 6 foot to me because I can't tell the difference.
I kind of get the same when I'm looking down. So I mean, he's short, yeah, but he's 5'11". Oh right, okay, sorry.
He's
Okay,
really
maybe
short.
not be. He might be short to me, but maybe to other people. And I'm 6'6", so there's about 8 inches of height difference, I reckon. So
Yeah, and obviously
yeah,
you want to use that to keep him on the outside, but then
yeah, man.
if you look at his record, he's only got 2 KOs. Everything else of his 9 wins comes. He's got 2 decisions, 2 KOs, and then 5 submissions. So this is a guy that loves to submit.
Yeah.
How do you see him? I mean, is this one of those fights where you go, okay, the only way he can beat me is by knocking me out with a haymaker or catching me up by some weird submission? Do you see any other way that can he outwork you? Can he outpush you? Can he outpoint you with the judges? Like, how do you see him winning if there's a way for him to win?
I think if they go on by takedowns and things like that, he's going to try and keep dragging out and grind out a takedown, hold on to me, takedown, hold on to me, takedown. But what he's got to remember is the first 2 rounds in the tournament, you couldn't use elbows. You know, you can use elbows in this round. You come in close to me, I'm going to smash you in the face with anything I can throw at you. If any angle, and me being so long, I get that advantage from I can hit people from this angle, from that angle, and it's and when they come in, they hurt, man. They really do.
Yeah, you're kind of a violent. You're very calm man outside the training room, but then you're very violent when you get inside the training room. And it's you have your switch very well dialed in. You know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So you don't have this whole, hey, I'm out drinking with my mates, and then all of a sudden you're aggressive. You're still very calm. So when you get in there, is it you tend to be very violent with how you throw stuff and how you do things. Like when you go for a submission, you're violently trying to rip his arm off. You're not just trying to catch a very nice, soft, Gracie style jiu-jitsu. Oh, I have an arm bar. Let me slide this in here really slightly and kind of, oh, now I have it, and then look at him before you break his arm. Like either tap now, I'm gonna break it, kind of thing. You go right to the break right away. Like you're very violent, and you're even worse with your striking. Is that just something that was in your DNA, or is that something that your striking coach Jason kind of showed to you and said this is what you have to do?
He kind of brought out a lot more power into me. You know, I mean, I was more speed with my striking, so I was pitter patter. But he's like, now just turn it into it. You know, throw more shoulder into it, and I'm like, now I'm hitting speed and power, and I'm hitting the pads, and they sound like gunshots going off around in the gym. You know, and it's like, wow, you know, and the same when I'm on the ground. The guys I'm rolling with, if I've seen something there, then I grab it and I'm pulling on it. You know, leg, foot, anything. You know, it's just I don't want to let anything risk. I don't want to take any risks with in the fight. You know.
Is there a guy in the gym that every time you spar with him, you're like, okay, this is the round I was getting my butt kicked. Like this is just the guy that no matter what I do, no matter what kind of day I'm having, he always beats me in the stand up. No matter what I'm gonna get caught. Is there a guy at the gym right now that does that to you?
We all pretty much push each other. You know, everyone's starting to.
No, I'm not talking about that pushing guy. Like when I was training, it was Mike Powell. No matter what kind of day I was having, I don't care where I was in training camp. I don't care where he was in training camp. If I had a spar against Mike Powell in Extreme Couture in Las Vegas, that round I was taking a butt kick, and I just could not get. I just not have. Or stylistically, he always beat me stand up in the room.
Yeah.
Do you have a guy like that?
Not overly butt kicking, but I get punched in the face. David Branch, man. David Branch he jabs me in the face, man, and it's like, and then trying to hit him again, he's like a mongoose, man. He's there and then he's there, and it's like, and I have to pin him in the corner, literally grab hold of him, and then I can beat him up, you know. And so that's the only way I can grab him. But
I'm hesitant to ask this question, but do you have anybody like that in submission? Because from what I've heard from the guys that you train with, that they're kind of getting scared of you now. Like there's no one in the room really that kind of gives you that. At least not giving me that notice of the one guy that kind of catches you all the time and can kind of quell you down. Is there a guy in the room that kind of holds you down in the submission game?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, there's a Super Tim, my mate Super Tim. You know, he's once he gets hold of my wrists, it's like having a vice on you. You know, he's so strong, and it's like I can't move my hand. I'm trying to move my arm, and then he grabs on my foot. And then there's another one, Eddie. Eddie Lee is his name is, I think. And man, you roll with him, and he's just nasty. You know, and then when you talk to him, he's such a friendly guy as well, you know, and it was just like, man, he grabs hold of your foot or grabs hold of anything, your head, you know, it's getting pulled very tightly.
Now, the one thing I like about Henzo is that he always has this open mat policy where anybody, you know, I'm in town, just show up, you know, come in and say hi, like walk in, and if you want to get a roll in, come and get a roll in. It's very convenient. But when you're training, I know you want to stay with particular training partners. You don't want to have some guys you don't know about. Even me, like if I walk in there and you're fighting a short, stocky wrestler, you may not want to train with me because you've got a fight coming up. You don't want to get hurt. Do you have to sometimes tell guys that walk in, like, hey, look, guys, I'm sorry, I got a fight coming up. I can't work with you because it is so open over there at Henzo's?
Yeah, I kind of, in the morning when I'm there, I kind of look around and see who's on the mat, and I'm like, right, I roll this guy, I roll that guy, and we kind of know which level. I mean, some guys they're gonna take one look at you and be like, right, I want to fucking tear this guy's arm off, or I want to really hurt this guy. And being a fighter, you're not going to turn it down, right. You know. And then after the roll, you're like, something clicked or something, and it's like, why take that risk? You know, I mean, I'm more, my training partners I've got. There's abundant of training partners I have. And I'm happy rolling with these guys and moving with these guys. So I mean, after this tournament's over, then everything's fair game, you know. But I mean, this has been a long training camp, you know, 6 months.
Yeah, that's really. That was my next question. Like, it's been really long for you. Did you take some time, like, just to bring down the intensity and just bring up the volume? But okay, we're hitting 1, 2, 3s, but instead of like trying to crush every 1, 2, 3, I'm just going to make sure my technique's correct. Did you have any of that in the 6 months, or was it always just high intensity, high go?
High intensity. It's been high intensity since I got off the plane. And I think it was 5 weeks before the May 2nd fight, so March time or something like that. So as soon as I arrived in America, it's just been on all the time.
All right, if you had to do anything differently since you moved to America, which is obviously back in May, what would you have done differently? Now that you've kind of established yourself through, it's now we're in August. What would you change about what you've done so far since you moved to America?
Nothing. Everything I've done now is going to plan. Everything it's really been working well. I mean, the team I've got, my training partners, my coaches, my cornermen, everyone I've been working with is perfect. It's exactly what I've needed to help me, and they're bringing out something which I didn't even know was there. You know, so man, I couldn't ask for anyone better. I wouldn't want to change anything.
Didn't you take your mates and go on a drive? I want to go to Washington, D.C., and then now we're going to drive down to Florida. Wasn't that you?
Yeah, that was
Florida.
Me, yeah.
You wouldn't have changed that and just stayed in D.C. instead of driving all the way down to Miami for
one
night?
Even the experience of going down there to Florida, you know, it was all an eye-opener. It was all like, I mean, when you drive down that, the I-94, is it, I think?
Yeah. I think so.
Long road.
Yeah, just in the middle of nowhere. You feel like sometimes you're just like, where the heck are we? Like, we're in the middle of a swamp and we get killed out here.
Yeah, but we pulled over some of them service stations. And we're looking around. It's like, but again, it's all an experience, you know, and it's an experience you're never going to change. I'm never going to get that one back, you know. Yeah. It's always going to be up there, you know. So it's now, man. I'm open to every single experience I ever get.
Is your missus going to come with you to this fight?
Yes, she's going to be there. Yeah.
Does she come to all your fights, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, she flew to the last one. She's flying out to this one. Okay. She's going to be in LA as well a few days before, so she's flying back especially for it.
Yeah, well, hey man, it's been great, Liam, catching with you. I appreciate it. I know you just got off the subway. You were training all day today, and you're tired.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Man.
And you know, I really do thank you for taking all the time with me that you do, because I always seem to catch you in the middle of a move. You're in the middle of your car as your mates upstairs trying to hook up all your internet. You're in your car sweating your ass off. You always catch me. You know, I always catch you right after training session, but you're always there for me, and I appreciate that.
Mate, I'm loving these interviews. You know, they're good fun.
Well, it's because you're not scared to answer, and I don't think there's ever a question I could possibly ask you that would upset you. So it's easy because you're like, whatever. Yeah, here's the answer. So a lot of guys get real closed up and clam up and won't. They don't want to. They'll tell me before we start. Don't ask me about this, and don't ask me about this, and don't ask me about. Like, okay, well, I won't. Then I skip over it. But that's what everybody wants to know about. Like, they want to know what's going on. They want to know how bad the tequila was when you're in DC making the drive. Like, they want to know that the
tequila was good. I can't wait to drink it again.
Well, it won't be long. You know, come September 13th, early morning at 12 a.m.
I've got all my boys fighting on the World Series of Fighting show as well. So I literally fly from Detroit to Philadelphia for the 13th. Wow. So I'm going to be watching them and then celebrate with all them guys as well.
Are you working in the corner on the 13th, or you just go?
No. I don't think I'll be working the corner. I'm just going to go there just to view and cheer them on and just show some support.
Personal experience. Working a corner when you're hungover is not the way to do it. It sucks.
Nah.
You're trying to yell and you can't concentrate. Like, stay out of it. Yeah.
My concentration levels are going to be all I'm going to be concentrating on is having a beer in my hand and a couple of shots, and that's it.
Perfect. I like it. Liam, I appreciate it, bud. You have a great rest of the day. We'll talk to you after this fight and see how. And let's. I want to talk about what your game plan was and what actually happened in the fight and how things progress once the fight's done.
Okay, man. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Talk to you soon, bud.
All right, Frank. Take it easy, mate.